Hi there. Picture this. It's a quiet evening. The office is almost empty, and the city outside is bathed in the colors of sunset. She thinks her workday is finally over, but suddenly, she hears the door open. Standing in the doorway is the very man she cannot get out of her head. There are just a few steps between them, a few seconds of silence, and then he makes his move. But before you get comfortable, make sure to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which city you are watching from and what time it is right now. I'm really curious to see who has joined us. Now settle in, we're just getting started. Emily stood in front of the mirror, adjusting the thin strap of her delicate white summer dress. The fabric draped gracefully over her slender figure, ending just above her knees and hinting at the gentle curves of her hips. Her skin seemed to glow under the soft light of the bedroom, her long blonde hair tumbling in loose waves down her back. Bright blue eyes sparkled with anticipation. Under the dress, lace peeked from her bra, accentuating her average-sized but beautifully shaped chest. Her waist was narrow, her stomach flat, and her toned legs spoke of early morning runs. She slipped into a pair of light sandals and checked her reflection, satisfied with the effect. Tonight was the annual summer gathering among friends, a tradition she and her husband, David, always looked forward to. David entered the room just as she finished getting ready. He was tall, with short dark hair and a strong jawline. His physique fit and masculine. His smile was easy, and his touch as he kissed her shoulder was both affectionate and possessive. The party was lively and filled with familiar faces. Laughter mingled with the soft clinking of glasses as people drifted from the kitchen to the wide patio overlooking the garden. Emily's closest friend, Olivia, caught her attention by the snack table. Olivia was petite, with a cascade of chestnut curls and a mischievous grin. Her figure was athletic, wearing a playful yellow dress that highlighted her slim waist and subtle curves. As Emily chatted with Olivia, a newcomer entered the circle, a man she had only heard about before. Josh. He was a friend of one of David's colleagues, invited almost at the last minute. Josh was strikingly handsome, sandy brown hair styled carelessly, deep-set hazel eyes, a confident but not arrogant smile. He wore a fitted shirt that hinted at broad shoulders and a trim, athletic build. Emily felt his gaze for just a moment, curious, warm, and inviting. She felt a flush rise to her cheeks. As they were introduced, Josh's handshake was gentle but firm, his eyes not leaving hers. Emily's heart skipped, surprised by her own reaction. Throughout the evening, there was a subtle electricity in the air. Conversations flowed easily, and Emily found herself drawn into discussions with Josh more than once. They laughed about shared interests, and she noticed how his attention made her feel seen, even though David was never far away. At one point, Josh and Emily found themselves standing side by side on the patio, slightly apart from the rest. A gentle breeze played with the hem of her dress, and Josh leaned in closer, his voice low. "You look beautiful tonight, Emily," he murmured, eyes glancing quickly over her figure. There was nothing overt, but the compliment lingered between them, charged with a quiet tension. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of music, conversation, and fleeting, meaningful glances. Emily found herself thinking about Josh long after the last guests had left, feeling an unfamiliar thrill beneath her calm exterior. The weekend after the party, Emily found herself thinking about Josh far more than she was comfortable admitting. She tried to push the thoughts aside, focusing on her usual routine: morning yoga, grocery shopping, catching up on work. Yet, every so often, she caught herself smiling at nothing, replaying moments from that evening. How Josh had leaned in, the way his gaze lingered, his subtle charm. Monday came, bringing with it an unexpected invitation. Her friend Jessica had texted her about a small get-together at a local cafe, mentioning that a few friends, including Josh, would be there. Emily hesitated for a moment before agreeing. She told herself it was harmless, that she would simply enjoy coffee with friends. When Emily arrived at the cafe, the group was already gathering. Jessica waved her over enthusiastically. Jessica herself was impossible to miss. Tall, with vibrant red hair that cascaded over her shoulders in shiny waves. Her form-fitting pencil skirt accentuated her shapely hips and long legs, while her soft pink blouse hinted at a lacy black bra underneath. Jessica's figure was curvy and feminine, fuller chest, narrow waist, and a round, appealing bottom. She exuded a confidence that made people take notice. Emily's own outfit was more casual. High-waisted jeans that hugged her hips and legs, paired with a simple lavender t-shirt tucked in just enough to reveal a hint of her pale blue lace underwear when she shifted. Her blonde hair was pulled into a loose ponytail, and she wore little makeup, letting her natural beauty shine through. Josh arrived a few minutes later, wearing a navy blue button-down and dark slacks. His relaxed confidence filled the room. Next to him was Mark, another friend of Jessica's, a tall, dark-haired man with olive skin and an athletic build, dressed in a fitted polo and jeans. Mark's easygoing nature set everyone at ease. The group conversation was lively, filled with laughter and playful teasing. Emily noticed the way Josh would sometimes look at her, eyes glinting with interest. It made her pulse quicken, even though she tried to act nonchalant. At one point, she glanced up to find both Josh and Mark watching her, appreciation clear in their expressions. The conversation drifted from travel to work, and then to relationships. Jessica, ever the open book, began sharing amusing stories about past boyfriends, her laughter ringing out. She described, with a sly grin, how wearing her favorite lingerie made her feel invincible, drawing a collective chuckle from the group. The topic made Emily blush, but it also made her reflect on her own marriage. She wondered when she had last felt that bold. As the group disbanded and everyone hugged goodbye, Emily lingered for a moment with Josh. Their goodbye was brief, but his hand touched her arm lightly, a spark that lingered on her skin long after they parted. That evening at home, David was already preparing dinner when Emily walked in. He glanced up from the kitchen counter, smiling as she kicked off her shoes and set her purse down. "How was the cafe?" he asked. Emily smiled, moving closer. "It was nice. Saw some new faces." She watched David work, admiring the way his strong arms moved as he chopped vegetables. After dinner, David suggested a walk. The neighborhood was quiet, the summer air soft and sweet. They walked side by side, hands intertwined. Emily felt grateful for his steady presence, the familiarity comforting. Yet, beneath it all, a restless energy buzzed, a longing she hadn't felt in a long time. Later that night, as she undressed for bed, Emily caught her reflection in the mirror. The pale blue lace bra hugged her chest, the matching panties soft against her skin. She felt a sudden, impulsive need to reconnect with David, not just as partners, but as lovers. She slipped into bed beside him, drawing the sheet up over her body. David glanced at her, noticing the subtle invitation in her eyes. He traced a gentle line along her arm, then leaned in to press a kiss against her shoulder. Emily responded, her fingers tangling in his hair as he moved closer. The room was filled with soft whispers and gentle laughter as David's hands explored the familiar curves of her body, rediscovering the shape of her waist, the smoothness of her hips. The lace of her brow was soon replaced by the warmth of his touch. Their bodies pressed close. They moved together in an unhurried rhythm, savoring the connection. Emily closed her eyes, letting herself be swept away by the sensation of David's lips on her skin. The way his hands held her as if she were precious. It was tender, loving, and filled with a quiet passion. When it was over, Emily rested her head on David's chest, listening to the sound of his heartbeat, feeling a sense of comfort and belonging. But as she drifted towards sleep, images of Josh flickered in her mind. The excitement of something new, the thrill of possibility. She tried to shake it off, but the feeling lingered, leaving her wondering what the future might hold. The next few days passed in a blur of routine for Emily. Work, errands, moments with David. But the thoughts of Josh never quite left her. His voice, the confident way he had looked at her, the gentle touch on her arm at the cafe. All of it played through her mind unexpectedly, stirring feelings she had not experienced in years. Late Thursday afternoon, Emily's phone buzzed. It was a message from Jessica. "Emergency at work? Can you cover for me at the client meeting with Josh tomorrow? Pretty please." Jessica added a string of pleading emojis. Emily hesitated, feeling her heart race, but quickly replied that she could help. She told herself it was just work. The following day, Emily chose her outfit with uncharacteristic care. She selected a navy blue pencil skirt that hugged her hips and ended just above her knees, paired with a light sheer blouse and a pale pink lace bra that offered subtle support and flattered her shape. Her matching underwear fit snugly around her gently rounded bottom, and she slipped on low heels. Her blonde hair fell straight over her shoulders, framing her face softly. The meeting with the client took place in a sleek, modern office. Josh arrived on time, dressed in a crisp white shirt and fitted dark trousers. His presence filled the room with quiet confidence, his sandy brown hair slightly tousled, his deep-set hazel eyes warming when he saw her. They worked efficiently together, discussing project details and answering questions. Emily felt the comfortable professional rhythm between them, but beneath that, something more subtle pulsed, a current of possibility. After the meeting, Josh suggested they grab coffee at the cafe downstairs to debrief. Emily agreed, following him to a quiet corner table by the window. Sunlight streamed in, catching highlights in her hair. They talked about work at first, but conversation soon drifted. Josh leaned back, regarding her with a thoughtful smile. "You really light up when you talk about your ideas," he said quietly. "I noticed it the other night too." Emily smiled, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "Thank you. I don't always feel that way." Josh's gaze softened. "You should. You have this energy about you." He paused. "You deserve to feel special, Emily." A long silence hung between them, thick with something unspoken. They stood to leave, walking slowly toward the elevator. As they waited, Josh turned to her, closer than before. Suddenly, the space felt charged. Josh's hand brushed lightly against her waist, lingering just a second longer than necessary. The elevator arrived, its door sliding open with a soft chime. They stepped in, alone. The doors closed, and for a heartbeat, time seemed to stop. Emily felt her breath quicken as Josh leaned in, his hand gently settling on her lower back. He looked into her eyes, silently asking for permission. She felt the heat of his palm through the thin fabric of her blouse. Emily did not move away. The tension crackled as Josh pressed his lips softly to hers. A delicate, questioning kiss. His mouth was warm, gentle, and when Emily responded, their kiss deepened, slow and exploratory. His hands found her waist, holding her as if afraid she might disappear. For a moment, the world faded. Emily melted into the kiss, her heart pounding. She tasted the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of something forbidden but irresistible. Her hands found Josh's chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. The elevator continued its descent, but in that small space, nothing else mattered except the sensation of his lips and the way he touched her. The elevator chimed at the ground floor, breaking the spell. They separated quickly, both a little breathless, both silently promising not to speak of what had just happened. Emily's cheeks flushed as she smoothed her skirt, glancing at Josh, who offered her a small, understanding smile. They walked outside together, pausing in the sunlight. Josh hesitated, then took her hand for the briefest of moments. "I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it," he murmured. Emily shook her head, smiling despite herself. "I did not want you to." For a long moment, neither of them moved. Finally, Emily pulled her hand away gently. She needed time to think, to sort out her feelings. But she could not deny the spark that now burned between them. A spark that would not easily be ignored. That evening, Emily went home with her heart in turmoil. She tried to focus on ordinary things. Dinner with David, a movie, the comfort of routine. But when she lay in bed that night, her body still hummed with energy, and her mind replayed every second of that stolen kiss. She had crossed a line, she knew. It was a line she had never intended to approach, much less cross. Yet, for the first time in a long time, Emily felt truly alive, caught between the steady warmth of home and the dangerous thrill of desire. Emily woke the next morning feeling both exhilarated and guilty. The memory of Josh's kiss haunted her, playing on a loop in her mind. Every time she glanced at David over breakfast, she wondered if he could sense that something in her had shifted. He seemed cheerful as always, chatting about plans for the weekend and making her coffee just the way she liked it. She forced a smile, grateful for the ordinary rhythm of their life. But when David left for work, Emily's thoughts drifted to Josh. She replayed the elevator moment, remembering the warmth of his hand on her back and the taste of his lips. It was so unlike her to be swept away, but she could not shake the feeling of anticipation. That afternoon, Emily met her friend Megan for lunch. Megan was a striking woman, a natural brunette with dark wavy hair that reached the middle of her back. She had large, expressive brown eyes and a wide, welcoming smile. Megan's body was feminine and curvy, accentuated by a fitted emerald green dress and a cream-colored cardigan. When she crossed her legs, Emily caught a glimpse of matching green lace underwear and toned thighs. Megan's style was both elegant and daring, her confidence radiating with every gesture. As they sat by the window, Megan studied Emily's face with concern. "Is everything okay? You seem distracted," Megan said, stirring her iced tea. Emily hesitated. "It's nothing. I've just had a lot on my mind lately." Megan raised an eyebrow. "Does this have anything to do with that guy you met at the party? The one you mentioned last week, Josh?" Emily blushed, surprised by Megan's intuition. She looked down at her salad, picking at a cherry tomato. "Maybe. He's different, and I think about him more than I should." Megan leaned in conspiratorially. "Everyone deserves to feel desired, Em. But remember what's at stake. Just be honest with yourself about what you want." Emily nodded, grateful for her friend's advice, but no closer to clarity. That evening, as Emily prepared for a meeting with Josh about their ongoing project, she chose her outfit with care, almost unconsciously. She settled on a black-fitted skirt and a silky white blouse that hinted at the lace edges of her beige bra beneath. The matching underwear hugged her curves perfectly, making her feel more confident and more aware of her body. The office was nearly empty when Emily arrived. Josh was already there, typing quietly on his laptop. He looked up as she entered, offering a smile that sent a flutter through her chest. They worked side by side, reviewing documents and exchanging ideas. Emily tried to focus, but every time their arms brushed or their eyes met, the tension between them grew stronger. After a while, Josh set down his pen. "Can we talk for a moment?" he asked, his voice gentle. Emily nodded, her heart pounding. He hesitated, searching her face. "I do not want to complicate your life, but I cannot stop thinking about you." Emily's breath caught. The admission hung in the air, charged with electricity. "Me too," she whispered. For a moment, neither moved. Then, as if by silent agreement, the distance between them vanished. Josh stood and gently took Emily's hand, drawing her to her feet. He cupped her cheek, searching her eyes for permission one last time. Emily leaned in, and their lips met, this time without hesitation. The kiss deepened quickly, urgent but gentle, filled with all the longing and restraint that had built up over weeks. Josh's hands traced the line of her waist, then slid up her back, feeling the smooth fabric of her blouse and the lace beneath. Emily pressed closer, her arms circling his neck, her fingers exploring the soft hair at the base of his skull. The heat between them grew as their kisses became more fervent. Josh's hands moved lower, finding the curve of her hips and drawing her body against his. Emily felt a thrill as she realized how much she wanted this, how long she had denied herself. The room seemed to fade away. Josh's lips moved to her neck, his breath warm against her skin. Emily gasped softly, her senses alive to every touch. She let her hands roam over his chest, feeling the strength beneath his shirt. For a long moment they stood together, exploring each other with growing hunger, yet careful not to cross every boundary. Josh pulled away just enough to look into her eyes, his forehead resting against hers. "Are you sure?" he whispered. Emily nodded, her answer clear. They moved together, seeking a secluded corner of the office where the shadows hid them from view. Emily's blouse slipped open, revealing her lace bra and the soft skin beneath. Josh's hands traced every curve with reverence, his kisses growing more urgent. Their bodies moved together, slowly at first, then with rising passion. Every touch was new and electric, every whisper a promise. Emily felt cherished, desired, seen. In those moments, she lost herself completely, surrendering to the forbidden thrill. When it was over, they stood in silence, wrapped in each other's arms. Emily felt a strange mix of relief and apprehension, her heart pounding with aftershocks of pleasure and guilt. Josh kissed her forehead softly. "I do not want to hurt you, Emily. Whatever happens, I want you to be happy." Emily nodded, tears pricking at her eyes. Not of sadness, but of overwhelming emotion. She gathered her things quietly, smoothing her skirt and buttoning her blouse. They shared a last, lingering look before Emily slipped out of the office and into the cool night air. As she walked home, Emily realized her life could never be quite the same. The secret she now carried was both a burden and a thrill. A reminder that she was alive, capable of desire and of making choices, even if they were complicated. The days that followed were filled with contradictions for Emily. In the quiet safety of her home, she moved through routines as always, making coffee, sorting laundry, chatting with David in the kitchen. On the outside, nothing had changed. But inside, everything was different. Every thought, every memory of her time with Josh was sharp and vivid, filling her with a guilty sense of excitement she could not share. David noticed a difference too, although he could not name it. He watched her sometimes over dinner or while they walked through the park, as if trying to solve a riddle he did not have the clues for. Yet his kindness and attention never wavered. If anything, Emily felt him drawing closer, almost as if he sensed her drifting away. One evening, David suggested they spend a quiet night together, just the two of them. No phones, no distractions. Emily agreed, both longing for the familiar comfort and dreading the intimacy. She wore her favorite pajamas, soft and simple, with a pale pink camisole that hugged her form and matching shorts that revealed the smooth curve of her hips. She slipped a matching lace bra underneath, not quite sure if she hoped David would notice. They cooked together, laughing over small mistakes and sharing a bottle of wine. For a while, Emily let herself sink into the moment. David's warm smile, the easy way he teased her about her chopping skills, the steady pressure of his hand on her lower back. All of it reminded her of why she had fallen in love with him. After dinner, they curled up on the couch with a movie. David's hand found hers, their fingers tangling together. The comfort of it was like a balm, soothing the anxiety that had been building in Emily's chest. As the credits rolled, David turned to her. "You seem far away lately," he said softly, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Emily hesitated, searching for words she could not quite find. I do not know. I think I have been in my own head too much." He studied her face, then leaned in, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead. "Whatever it is, I am here," he murmured. He kissed her again, this time on the lips. The kiss was slow, searching, as if he was trying to find his way back to her. Emily closed her eyes, letting herself fall into the familiar rhythm of his touch. His hands slid up her sides, fingers brushing over the lace of her bra beneath the camisole. Emily shivered, warmth spreading through her as David deepened the kiss. He pulled her closer, his hands moving to her waist, then lower, exploring the curve of her hips and thighs. Emily responded, her own hands tracing the strong lines of his shoulders, the warmth of his chest through his t-shirt. The world narrowed to the feel of their bodies pressed together, the soft sounds of breath and laughter. David's touch was both familiar and new. He lingered longer, held her tighter. Emily realized she was different too, more attentive, more daring, as if something had been unlocked within her. She let herself be bold, kissing him deeply, exploring him with her hands. The softness of her lace bra, the curve of her body in his arms, all of it was more alive than ever. They moved together, slowly at first, then with rising passion. David's hands slipped beneath her camisole, finding bare skin. He murmured her name, his voice husky. Emily arched into his touch, feeling a rush of longing, of gratitude, of something she could not quite name. Their bodies met, moving in a rhythm they had long known but somehow rediscovered. The intimacy was both tender and electric, filled with the quiet joy of being seen and loved. After, they lay together in silence, tangled in each other's arms. David stroked her hair, pressing small kisses to her temple. Emily rested her head on his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. She felt both comforted and unsettled, the lines between loyalty and longing blurred. The next day, Emily met her friends for brunch. Olivia was there, wearing a light blue sundress that set off her sun-kissed skin and soft brown hair. Jessica, ever the center of attention, had chosen a fitted coral blouse and white skirt, her fiery red hair pulled back in a loose braid. Megan arrived last, in skinny jeans and a dark green blouse that brought out the warmth in her eyes. As they sipped coffee and shared stories, the conversation turned, as it often did, to relationships. Olivia confided that she was thinking of moving in with her boyfriend, her cheeks flushed with excitement. Jessica teased her, recounting stories of her own failed attempts at cohabitation, while Megan offered her usual thoughtful advice. Emily listened, feeling both a part of the group and set apart by her secret. She watched her friends, each so vibrant and alive, and wondered how much of their real lives they kept hidden too. Later, when the others drifted away to browse the shops, Megan lingered behind. She caught Emily's arm, her eyes serious. "Em, are you happy?" Megan asked quietly. Emily hesitated. "I do not know. I think I am. But I also feel like there is more out there. Does that make sense?" Megan nodded, squeezing her hand. "You deserve to feel alive. Just be careful." Emily smiled, touched by her friend's concern. "Thank you. I will." As she walked home, Emily realized she was at a crossroads. She loved David. She always would. But something inside her had changed, awakened by the excitement and danger of her time with Josh. She was not sure where that left her or what she wanted next. That evening, David greeted her with his usual warmth, pulling her into a gentle hug. For the first time in weeks, Emily felt a sense of peace. She did not have all the answers, but she knew she was not alone. The weeks that followed were filled with gentle shifts. Emily found herself returning to small moments. Sunlight on her face in the morning, the steady comfort of David's arms, the laughter she shared with friends over coffee. The secret she carried remained, but it no longer weighed as heavily on her heart. It was simply a part of her, something she had lived, learned from, and would always remember. David seemed more attentive, and their evenings were filled with quiet togetherness. They talked more, walked hand in hand, sometimes simply sitting together in silence. Emily noticed the way he looked at her now, with a depth that made her blush, like he was seeing her all over again. One Friday night, David surprised Emily with dinner plans. "I want to take you out," he said, smiling in that warm way that still made her feel chosen. Emily took extra care getting ready. She chose a knee-length burgundy dress that hugged her figure but felt soft and elegant. The dress had a deep neckline, revealing a delicate gold necklace that rested on her collarbone. Her matching burgundy bra and panties were lacy, feminine, hugging her curves perfectly. She paired the outfit with nude heels and wore her hair down in soft curls, her blue eyes bright with anticipation. When David saw her, he whistled softly. "Wow, Em, you look amazing." She smiled, feeling both cherished and confident. "Thank you. I am glad you noticed." They enjoyed a leisurely dinner at a cozy restaurant, sharing stories and laughter, rediscovering the spark that had first brought them together. David reached for her hand across the table, his thumb stroking gentle circles against her skin. After dinner, they strolled through the city, arm in arm. The evening was warm, the sky painted in soft pastels. Emily felt light and free, a gentle happiness blooming in her chest. As they reached their building, David stopped her just outside the door. He turned to her, his expression serious but loving. "I know things have felt different lately. I just want you to know. I love you, Emily. Whatever happens, I want us to be honest, to keep choosing each other." Emily felt tears prick her eyes, not from sadness, but from gratitude. She nodded, her voice soft. "I love you too, David. And I want that too." They kissed under the porch light, the world narrowing to the warmth of his arms and the quiet promise in his touch. The next afternoon, Emily hosted a small brunch for her closest friends. Olivia arrived first, her light blue dress fluttering in the breeze, a sunny smile on her lips. Jessica swept in next, her coral blouse catching the light, red hair bouncing as she laughed. Megan followed, dressed in a flowing floral skirt and white tank top, her wavy hair pulled back with a simple clip. Mark dropped by as well, carrying a bottle of sparkling juice and greeting everyone with an easy grin. The group filled the apartment with laughter and stories, the air warm with friendship. They talked about work, travel, and dreams for the future. At one point, Jessica leaned over, grinning. "Em, you seem different lately. Happier. What is your secret?" Emily laughed, her cheeks pink. "Maybe I am just learning to appreciate what I have." They toasted to that, glasses clinking, sunlight pouring in through the windows. As the afternoon faded, Emily caught herself looking around the room, her heart swelling with gratitude. She was surrounded by people who cared for her, each one bringing something unique and beautiful to her life. Whatever had happened with Josh was a secret she kept close, a memory of passion and discovery. But it was the present, this messy, beautiful now, that mattered most. When the last of her friends left, Emily stood for a moment in the quiet, the echoes of laughter lingering in the air. David appeared behind her, slipping his arms around her waist, pulling her back against his chest. "Still happy?" he whispered, his lips brushing her ear. Emily turned in his arms, looking up at him with a soft smile. "Very." He kissed her slowly, their bodies pressing together, moving as one. Emily's hands found his shoulders, then slid down his chest, feeling the strength and warmth she knew so well. David lifted her gently, carrying her to the bedroom, where soft light filtered through the curtains. He laid her on the bed, his hands tracing the line of her dress, pushing the fabric aside to reveal the burgundy lace beneath. Emily shivered at the tenderness in his touch, the way he explored her body as if it was the first time. Their movements were unhurried, every kiss and caress filled with meaning. Emily let herself be vulnerable, her heart open, her body responding to every gentle command. When their bodies finally joined, it was not just passion, but a promise, a renewal of the love they had built together. The world outside faded, leaving only the warmth of skin against skin, the soft sighs and whispers in the dusk. Afterwards, they lay side by side, hands entwined, the peace between them deep and real. Emily rested her head on David's shoulder, breathing in the scent of home. She knew she could not change the past, but she could choose her future. As night settled in, Emily drifted to sleep, a gentle smile on her lips. The story was not perfect, nor was it simple, but it was hers, and it was enough.